third week of the new year. So the new year wishes are still being exchanged. So I'll say Happy New Year to you all. The moment we say new year, one common word that strikes or we come across or we remember, oh, okay, the new year means new year resolution. We come across many such things. Just before the end of the last year or before starting of the new year, I found a funny comment on the social media. So I just thought of sharing with you before we go into the deep discussion a lighter moment. The joke says, a word of advice alert to regular gym goers. Don't go to gym till 7th January. If you want, you can go on 8th January onwards. Indirectly, the gym crowd, New Year resolutioners crowd will fade out by 7th January. So regular gym goers, if you are really serious, go after 8th January. That's the message. A point to laugh, but a point to ponder also. On a serious note, if you see why this kind of thing can happen. Last week, we had a very thought-provoking, detailed explanation by our professor, Muthu sir, on the topic best New Year resolution. So, and he has detailed three topmost points for the best resolution practices. If you can recall, you can quickly type. Otherwise, also I'm going to tell you, right? So one is contentment. Second one was patience. Third one was silence. If you are observing these three topmost as resolution practices, then everything is taking whole life is blissful. Okay. Yes. During even last week's class, there were some questions saying that these things are fine, but how to ensure continuity? That was a genuine question from some of the persons. I'm sure even if some persons asked, but it is the problem with many, or many people have the same problem or facing the same problem. I decided to get up early morning 5 a.m. because we have, all we have our online sessions, meditation sessions going at 5 a.m. I decided I'll join at 5 a.m. regularly. Sometimes I make it, sometimes I do not. Whatever may be the reason, sometimes I oversleep or any other, I find some other reason to skip. Who is initiating the decision to start this good habit? It is the mind. Who is overriding the previous decision and discontinuing? It's the same mind. Both these are acts of mind. Then why? Why do we fail in our resolutions? Resolutions, as we last week we had, yes, these are the best resolutions, but we fail to maintain or continue with the resolutions. Why? What can be done to overcome this wavering nature of mind? Why does this happen at all? So that if we know that, we can overcome the failures. So today's topic is life energy and the mind. This is a chapter from the book Sky Yoga for Human Excellence, Volume 2. This is written by Tattvagani Vedatri Marsi. In this book, in this chapter, he has given a complete root cause analysis. In industries, we say root cause analysis. Whenever a failure or an event with a failure is observed, they do complete investigation kind of thing. They call it root cause failure analysis. Why the failure happened, we have to do the root cause. Okay. He has done complete root cause analysis for this failure in this chapter and explained. The question is clear, right? Why we fail in our resolutions. It is the same mind, but why behaves differently at different times. Okay. Marcy's straightforward answer to this is to understand the mind. You do not know or don't have the ability to understand the mind. That is the reason, or you do not know the source of the mind for which we are facing this problem. So this is the key or short answer. To correlate this, you can see from the or observe from the nature. A small baby or an infant, when infant is or baby is crying, you feel others who are trying to make the baby quiet, they feel difficulty. They cannot make the baby quiet. Whereas the mother, moment the mother comes to the baby or takes the baby in the lap, the baby is quiet. Baby is able to understand mother. Similarly, being a mother, she knows, understands the needs of the baby, and things are settled. Baby and mother shared the common things. Baby was from the same source as the mother. So has that ability to understand and to know the source or understand, have align with the source. Coming to the mind, it is not understood where the mind is from. Hence the problem. Hence, that is the reason for such failure. Why? Because mind cannot be perceived by mere sense organs. The functioning of mind, how mind is working, what are the things that make up the mind, what it comprises of, the qualities, or what is the origin of the mind, all these things are not understood by majority of the people. Only a few, those who have understood, they have written down, they have formalized, they have mentioned the practices, and those practices and those preachings are recommend or recognized as divine scriptures. Rest of the people haven't understood. Now, going to mind, or what is the beginning, or how do we say what is the source? If we go further deeper into this, mind, absolute truth, or space, all these things are intangible. It cannot be perceived. So these things are not understood by the people. When we say absolute space, that is the root or source from where everything has come. If we say mind, a person must be able to know or the phenomenon of life force energy. That is what is mind. We have come through earlier classes, and even through our literatures, we know what we are talking about. The Akash particle, life force energy, everything. This has started from the universal space or the static field, the self-compressive force, which has created the quivering effect, causing to leading to creation of Akash particle. This Akash particle keeps on spinning or rotating. These rotating particles create waves. So these are all known to us. So we'll not go deeper into that. So these, like a baby and mother, they have understood each other, the source. This Akash particle source is from the divine. The same Akash particle functioning as a wave pattern through the mind or the among the living beings of the sixth sensed human being is again the same. The source of these mind waves or Akash particle is nothing but it is from the divine space or from the divinity. So that is what the source, or that is what the origin that has to be understood. That is why Maharishi has divined this practice, the one what we did today, Turyatita meditation, by observing the mind and getting associated with the absolute truth, static state. That is how the ability to understand mind is developed. The longer the association, the better the ability to understand. Longer in the sense, we are telling the more you stay with at the absolute space, static space, that we call dissolve or freeze. That's how the things improve the ability to understand the mind. Otherwise, it's not a thing to easily to know about mind. In order to understand the root of the problem, we have to go deeper into the fundamentals. What it is mind, what it is source. As we already mentioned, these absolute space, because of the self-compressive force, are creating Akash particles which are rotating at a very high speed. This Akash is spread all across the universe, the entire thing, that is called Maha-Akash, the Akash or the life force energy in the entire space, that is called Maha-Akash. This is infinite. The other names for that is Brahman or consciousness. The basic fundamentals are these Akash particles have a defined properties. One is it has volume, it has force, it has time, and distance. So the force aspect is because of the spinning of this, it has force generated. That is the force aspect. It has some space, that is the volume aspect. The rotation, the time taken for the rotation, that is the time aspect. And because of the force, the Akash particles are at distance, that is the distance aspect. So these are the four basic aspect of any Akash particle. And these Akash particles are everywhere. We will go just into the next, how the combination of Akash particles leading to the other formation of other particles. So these properties are maintained in any element or any compound or any, whether it's a minor or nano object or a mega object. These things continue because these properties are nothing but created from the space and they retain everything in the space. Okay. So now when we say Mahaakash, so this is entire thing filled up with these Akash particles. The Akash particle in the space is defined as Mahaakash. Whereas these Akash particles combine with different combinations. This again, the property remains the same. Suppose one electron, one proton, we call it hydrogen, two elements of proton, two elements of electron, the property is helium. It never changes. The property remains same. So the combination of Akash particles with the various combinations, property remains same. It cannot be changed. The physical properties or the entire whatever defined. This is what we say the total consciousness is present everywhere in the at a particle stage. These particle stages retain their properties, retain their divine decisions or divine configurations, which continues whatever may be the thing. So for solids, Akash particles with a space, more the space, more of the lighter. When we say dense object, space, well, lesser space and more of Akash particles, that gives the form of a solid. More of a space and lesser more of space and lesser Akash particles gets lighter. So liquid form, energy, air, and finally Akash. Everything is Akash, full. So that is how the combination of elements, solid, liquid, earth, or the form of what we say water. These are the representation of five basic elements. This is called, these are called, these five called bhuta, panchabhutas, and the akash, the basic energy particle, life energy particle, which is present in these five basic elements, are called bhuta akash. These are the constituents in the five basic elements. The ingredient or the constituent, it is the same, it is the akash. When it is in solid, liquid, or we say energy or fire or air, we call those as bhuta akash. Same Akash particle, when it is present in living beings, that's how the name comes. Chitta Akash. Living beings are having. It's just all living beings, not only a human species, anything, any living being is having that Chitta Akash. So that is how the differentiations of Akash or various forms of Akash names are changed based on where those Akash particles are present. And these have a particular, another property of consciousness is pattern, precision, and regularity. All this what we see have a pattern, a defined pattern that stays everywhere, every time, wherever it is, and it functions with a precision and regularly. The regularity is maintained, precision is maintained, pattern is defined. So this is a basic, another fundamental property of these Akash particles. In case of living beings, we have a different concept. Akash particles have a pattern, precision, and regularity. So this is a defined thing. But when we say these Akash particles present in living beings, or when we come to Chitta Akash, this becomes pattern, precision, regularity, and additional three properties or three. Because of these three properties, it is further developed into abilities. These three abilities of perception are called cognition, experience, discrimination. So in living beings, these three are present. These are not there in the other elements. So when we say cognition, cognition means it is the perception that has the ability to perceive or know something that is happening. That is perception. Experience, from knowing something, you have developed or you know something, what has happened, experience. And discrimination, once we have an experience, we have the perception to discriminate what is what, it was liked or not liked, how it can function, what else, the difference between the earlier, and from the different experiences you have the ability to discriminate. So that is the perception of discrimination. So these three are special properties or characteristics which are available for living beings only. With these abilities, that is the cognition, experience, and discrimination, when this functionality is enabled, there comes the sixth sense, or the functioning that is called sixth sense. The human has this function. No other living beings except human this special character or special quality. That is the sensing ability beyond the normal five senses. That is the sixth sense. This is the ability to realize, and that is specially designed for ability to realize the divine. That is what the aspect was missing, or people continue to ignore the ability to realize the divine. So this is what, when we say the sensing perception has been developed in human beings. How this sensing perception is working? We say sense organs or our indriyas or sense organs will lead to sensing perception. I think no. Because if you just think over sensing perception, how a sensing perception is developed. Sensing or sense organs, just take the case of just a body is lying. With sense organs are present, will it be able to have a sense perception? No. Then we can say life energy is also required. Life energy, without life energy, sense organs will not work. Okay. Life energy and sense organ, both are present in the case of a baby. Okay. So now we say just a body, now body with life energy is there. Sense organs are present. Life energy is also present. Still, will it be able to give the sensing perception? Take the case of a person who is unconscious. He has been given anesthesia and he is not having. So life energy, sense organs are present theoretically, but sensing perception will not be there. In the case of infants, babies, they have these two characters. So there is another third dimension aspect which is required to complete this sensing perception. That is the mind functions. So when these life energy, sense organs go together and with the ability of the mind function, only then the sensing perception works. Or the other way around also, sense organs, life energy, and sensing perception together gives rise to mind function. A baby of 2 years or 3 years or one less than 3 years, we say the mind function is not perfect because the sense perceptions are not there. Once the sense perceptions are to the age when it has matured, then we say the mind function has there. Or the other way around, when the mind function has matured, it gives the sense perception to be effective. So that's what in Maharshi's words, where sensory perceptions are cognized by life energy, mind begins at that stage. What he's trying to say is sensory perceptions are cognized by life energy. only then the mind begins at that stage. Same way, if the body with sensory perception, life energy has the ability to recognize the sensory perception, then starts the mind functioning in a proper way. Primary duty of life energy particles, when we say life energy particles are helping sense organs, but the primary duty of life energy particles is to safeguard the physical body. That's why we call it life, or it gives the life energy. And secondary duty is to protect the cells. It first is to safeguard the physical body and save the cells which are leading to loss. Because of loss of magnetism, biomagnetism, cells get died or matured or replenished with. So this is automatic process that is being done by the biomagnetism or life energy. It's consumed, life energy is regenerated. This is another secondary aspect of responsibilities of life energy. On a daily basis, we lose millions of cells which are replenished by this. Now, with this cognition ability and with the sensory perception, when we say we have this, we understood how the sensory perception is working. Now, from the sensory perception, we are going to the next stage. Next stage is the stage which starts with sensation. That is combination of mind, life energy, and sense. Okay. Now that we have reached the sensation, this is the first stage. After the first stage, then from the sensation arises the need. There begins the root cause of the problem. For example, the taste, aroma of a particular brand coffee is preferred by senses. We have a preference to buy by sense of organ for that particular taste. That is not available here. I have to bring it from my hometown. I have to arrange for excess weight, or if that is over that's how the problem starts, or the need defines or generates to efforts. Okay, when this effort is there, action is defined, and this action will have some result. No, 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 no. My friend brought another brand, but he didn't get that one. He got this one. Result. Enjoyment. No, I didn't like it. Or I liked it. Yes, I want the same one. Next time again, please, will you bring it? Or I will try to bring it with experience. You refer to someone, you do research. No, no, no. This is not, the other one is much better. So this is how go to a realization stage. Next stage is realization. And next stage is come to a conclusion. Once you decide a conclusion, either you repeat or you start with another research. So this is how the chain or the order of hierarchy starts. Once the sensation has started, that sets the total 10 stages of mind start functioning. And the basic starting point for this, all these 10 steps or 10 stages is sensation or sense perception. When this this is what is also called the psychic extension of life energy. The sense perception is nothing but a functioning of mind. That is why it is called a psychic extension. And it is nowhere physical. It is just a extension of life energy, because life energy is also part of this. The sensation step is combination of mind, life energy, and sense perception ability. So this is how that continues to the set of activities. Sensation lead to need. When need starts, things go in order. For the sake of need experience, there are old stories, Sanskrit stories called Kaupinam, Samvarksharadhanam. I might have told earlier. Kaupinam is the loin cloth, that is the lowest possible piece of cloth that can be used, that is used to cover body. Old time sages or saints, they used to wear that kaupinam. The story goes like that. The saint or a sage person, who was sannyasi kind of person, he was very minimal, not having any much of needs, just having a loin cloth and doing his meditation or doing his minimum simple life he was leading. And he was moving around places of wherever he used to get food and temple kind of thing. He moved to a place, to a village. There, the village people were very generous, very charitable people. They said, okay, you are sleeping there. No, 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 we will give you a hut. You sleep here. They slept there. He manages to stay there. His loincloth, the kopinam, what we call, was there, and mice or rats started biting it. So he was worried. I have only a single piece of cloth to cover this modesty, and that's getting torn by because of the rats. He worried, and he started talking to the people. Okay, they suggested, okay, rats can be counted with the cat. You bring a cat. He adopts a cat, and a cat needs some food. This fellow is sannyasi. He can live with anything, even with air also. Whereas he wanted to bring the cat, feed something. So they told, okay, we will, people, generous people, they told, okay, we will give you godanam. You will get milk. So he got the cow and started taking care of the cow, taking care with the products of milk. He was enjoying milk products and all those things. Finally, then they said, for maintaining these things, he is taking a lot of efforts needed. So they said they were very charitable. They gave him a kanyadanam also. He got married also. Then started the daily chores and all those things. So things, the summary of what, in short, what cut things short, is the need leading to effort, leading to action, leading to result, enjoyment, experience. Finally, he forgot doing all his meditation practices and got involved with the day-to-day life. So anyway, just to keep the story short, this is the consequence here is research, realization, and conclusion. The last two steps, the realization and conclusion, will lead to recycle the things, and the order continues. We keep satisfying the sensation or sense perceptions. That is how things get involved or engrossed into these activities. This is not the just a simple cycle. It has other impacts also. The reason, experience produces imprints. Okay, once we say enjoyment experience, it is not the end. Action, results, enjoyment, these will lead to imprints. Imprints are the imprints which are there on the life energy particles and reproductive cells. These imprints in the organs, they make it as a habit. When we say, okay, I have this habit, habituated, this is coming from the imprints in the life energy particles. And these are stored in the brain cells as memory. I have a memory, I have an imprint. Every day morning, I need this by habit and by memory. Even if I forget, it is from the memory, it is being told that, yes, this is the habit. We have to continue with this. This is how it calls, and recall from past experience. This is how we remember. Okay, last year I had been there. That's a very good food or very good item available there. So that's how memory keeps you telling to go with the same perception of enjoyment or same perception what you liked based on the result. It is recall from the memory. These imprints are, or part of these life particles, are there in the reproductive cells also. These reproductive cells carry these imprints, and those decide the quality of the individual. Same individual's quality is passed on to other people in generation also. That is how these things are coming from the imprints which are carried with the individual and from the reproductive cells passed from the previous generations. How these functions work? From the age of 3 or above, these imprints are retained. Below 3, these are not retained. There are no imprints generated. It is kind of short-term memory. It is deleted. But from 3 and above, these imprints stay firm. So it is not just we put the blame on our parents or forefathers because of I inherited these habits. This is cultivated from the 3 and above, that stays, and all these are added to the mind database. All these 10 stages remain in the mind database. So this is what the total picture, if you are looking at. The original quality of mind, that is the, what is mind actually is. the eternal space, when we told Akash particle, it has come from the divine space or eternal space, that itself has transformed into life force energy. When we say kinematic quivering, space automatically or itself got quivering, and because of the quivering process, it started generating life force energy. So it is nothing but the source is the eternal space or the static state or the absolute from where these particles have come. These particles constitute the mind. So we can say mind has nothing, is the quality or the origin of the mind is from that only. But these qualities or the particular quality of the mind is hidden or just hiding below the sensory perceptions. Sensory perceptions, sensual pleasures are at the top. We don't go deeper or go beyond the sensory pleasures to unfold or to find out the hidden treasure that is there. So if one can surpass the layers of sensory pleasures, then, or that's what Maharsi's word for that is called transcend. You have to transcend, go beyond, surpass the sensory perceptions. That is how we can find the divine, or we can understand the mind as part of the divinity. A simple, small example, quick example from our day-to-day life. I have to reach to airport. I'm going on my way to airport for my journey. I have a particular time. Within this, I need to reach to have my journey completion of a successful journey. While riding the taxi on my way to the airport from Alcor, I see a famous coffee shop brand. I will not take the name of the coffee brand. Okay, famous coffee shop is there. I get the aroma. It triggers the sensation. Okay, let us stop over for a coffee. I have my coffee. Next stop is I see a top branded shop. Sale, 70% off. Okay, stop, buy there. Then another sensory perception. My favorite food or sweet or shop, I stop. So by doing all this sensory or meeting my sensory perception requirements, at the end, what I am doing, I am not able to reach my destination, or I'm going away from my, or getting distracted from my destination. This is what is the point. So with mind focused on its target, when it is mind is focused, I will straight away aim to go to my point of destination, or my journey will be peaceful, successful, and travel will be peaceful. So this is what the in the life's journey, in a day-to-day life, we get trapped with the sensory perceptions and get distracted from the journey towards our goal. In Maharsi's incidents, there are several incidents we heard about earlier from Maharsi's life. One simple incident, what can be correlated to this is, while eating food one day, he found the food which was not having salt. No one knew. He also never commented or bothered. He just finished his food. His wife, when she sat, she ate the food. She suddenly realized, what is this? Is not having any food, any salt in that. So, but whereas Mercy has taken that food completely without even any perception or any feeling or any deficiency shown with his facial expression on the senses. So that is how what I was trying to say is the overcome the sensory perceptions, and you just keep the sensory perceptions aside and go beyond. It is essential that one must know that strength, weakness of mind, which are we are talking about, these are originating from the thoughts, actions, and words. So in order to strengthen the mind or make it more stronger, we have to take care of the thoughts, the actions, and words, what is originating from the mind. All this can be done when we practice sky practices, or manoelectric or sky practices, simplified Kundalini yoga practices. Only then the mind can realize the root from where it has come, and it can be with it. Now, this is what the summary from the chapter, from the book Sky for Human Excellence. Before we go to the summary, I'll try to present the entire thing in a short form. When we say RCFA report in our industries, it's a common terminology. I'm using these terms. Probably some of you might be aware of this. So, final report or summary. What is the event? What is the problem statement? What is the root cause? What are the contributing causes? There might be only single cause. One may be a root cause, the other can be contributing causes. What are the preventive actions? Now let us go to event. Failure in resolution. We failed resolution. I just took the word failure in resolution, but for that matter, it can be anything. When mind is wavering, we are not firm with a particular decision. Why? What is the reason for that? Wavering mind. Why it is wavering? Because mind is not understood. It is intangible. Mind perceptions, to understand the mind is not easy one. Only the people with elevated levels, they have understood. So that is a common problem. With no common man cannot understand mind, what it is. Root cause, the sense organs cannot perceive mind with the existing sense organs. It cannot be perceived. The sense organs are meant for only feeling of a tense, taste, sense, smell, touch. So these are the perceptions, but not to perceive mind. This is the root cause. And contributing causes, sensual pleasures. With the sensual pleasures, more and more, it just leads to arising the need and then effort and all the stages. We go on and get deviated from the starting point, mind. With these things continuing, the other contributing causes, imprints. There are imprints already within me because of my past actions from the age of 3, whatever, and some cells which have been continuing from the hereditary inherited imprints which are there. So these will be contributing causes for the sense organs to remain under sensual pleasures and not able to surpass. Preventive action. Now coming to the final one. What can be done to prevent this? Or what is my solution for this one? First one is contentment. Second one is patience. Third one is silence. And the most important one is sky practices. You have to continue doing meditation and introspection, then the sublimation, then perfection. These are the sky practices. When we follow sequentially, these will lead to complete accomplishment of these things. These preventive actions will ensure a full-fledged, blissful life. Now, there can be a question, why or how can we choose these items, contentment, patience, silence, or these things? For that, we can just go back to our 10 stages of mind. Starting point, we know sensation. Next point is need. When we say need is the second step, just take the scenario, I have cut this need. If I'm cutting those need, the remaining the chain of below this 8 points, need is ninth one. So 9 points are completely done. If need is taken care or cut, effort, action, result, consequence, everything is done. How that can be cut? By doing contentment. I am contented. If the moment I say contented, there is no further things asked and there is no further down the line chain, there is nothing. So need can be done by following contentment. This is what last week's, if you listen to the video lecture of Professor Muthu on contentment, he has given the complete elaborated perception about contentment. Next, suppose contentment need, there are things which cannot be completely, need cannot be abolished. There to certain extent, because the sensual pleasures, there will be needs. Yes, it has to be satisfied, not that we can do this. Next comes action. Second step, as a second layer of mitigation or protection. If action consequently leading to result, I'm desperate, I need this result, and result has to be meeting my requirement, those things. Then patience. If we are maintaining patience, the action, you are desperate, or that patience will develop or will mitigate to progress of this down the line. The remaining 5, 6 steps can be done with this. coming to the third layer, okay, contentment and patience to some extent possible, to some extent we not able to meet it fully. Then comes the third one, silence. By following silence, this is not the silence in the literal sense, but silence from sky practices, which takes care of the regeneration or quality or enhancement of the life force energy in the entire cell's body is taken care by this refreshed, regenerated, the biomagnetism gets enriched. So this takes care of the top order again. That will ensure from the top, these things are taken care. And that's how these three things will be a perfect solution for this. Any question? Why not the first one? Sensation. I followed the second one, need and contentment, patience and silence. First one, sensation. That again, that is not something easy to just you say cut the sensation. No. If we go back to our slide, sensation or sense perception, sensing perception is from constituents of mind function, life energy, sense organs. So life force, sense organs, and the functioning of mind, these three percepts are interlinked, like a fire triangle kind of thing. These three things are interlinked. This cannot be cut or detached, but follow the Mahari's advice. The mind to look inward. If this mind is looking inward, when the mind surpasses sensory perceptions, feelings, to realize its own self, that is mind thinking about mind, the life energy. Mind is constituent of life energy or the wave from life energy, absolute. If mind is focused on that, that itself is the divine state. That is the consciousness. So not about cutting this portion, but it has to be focusing on the mind itself. That is what Mahari's report, fine, I can say, can conclude this with the Mahari's report. When mind stops relating to other objects and begins to look at itself, it becomes one with it. When we say mind become one with it, that's the point when the transformation into the truth takes place. That is the consciousness. So instead of the first step is, yes, when we say first step, sensation or sensory pleasures, these things are to be taken with the mind as the key element to be focused. That is the meditation practice. When we say today also we did the Aditya meditation, mind getting associated with the or through the mind to the divine, what is the source of the mind. So this step is written by, I'm just quoting the Mahari's words without mixing anything. When mind stops relating to other objects and begins to look at itself, it becomes one with it. That is the transformation into the truth. That is the consciousness. Be blessed by the divine. Thank you.